during those early years in my real estate career, I did so much guerrilla marketing. It's just amazing all the things that I came up with, from antique car shows that I sponsored to leaving my business card in just the right places at the bookstore that had to do with real estate, all these different guerrilla marketing. And what really catapulted my ability to network, and what I want to really share with you in this series of videos and book, is that about 8 years into that, I got involved in a network marketing company. And say what you will, good, bad, or indifferent, there was a lot to be learned, not only from the books that I was turned on to and the mentors that I had the blessing of working with, but also all the people, the hundreds of people on my team, thousands of people on my team, all the conventions that I went to, all the coaching, all the calls. So over about a 5-year period in that network marketing company, I ended up having 10,000 plus people on an international level in the team, and I personally recruited 131. Now, I don't say that to impress you, but to impress upon you that that is a lot of people. Anyone in network marketing will tell you that the average person can recruit 2 people. And in my experience, that is just not the case. If that was true, if you've ever seen the analogy, if you take a penny and double it every day, at 31 days, you have over $10 million. If you've ever seen that analogy, then you would know that if every person could bring in 2, and they brought in 2, et cetera, within 2 months, the whole planet would be involved in network marketing. So it's just not the case. So having brought in 131 required quite a bit of being able to bridge the humanity gap. So at the beginning of my network marketing career, within the first few weeks, as my team was growing very rapidly, I had people say to me, Cami, how are you getting people to become your business partner? You meet someone at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 7 o'clock at night, they're in your business. What are you saying to people when you go to events? How do you approach them? And what I came to find out was people just didn't know. They were just like me in the fact that they were either new to networking, or they were an active networker who was out doing a lot of networking but wasn't really getting the results that they want to. And I even found that professional networkers, people that I worked with that were high finance and high rises in downtown New York City, even a lot of those folks weren't really proficient at having just a simple conversation with somebody that they had never met before. So as people were asking me this, I would sit down with one person at a time at the Paneras. And we would talk about a good handshake, good eye contact, how to create conversation, how to follow up, just all the simple basics that really aren't so simple because we just don't get taught this in school. You know, school teaches us certain things to be able to get a certain type of career, but I know a lot of kids that come out that can't even balance a checkbook and don't even look people in the eye. So it's not that we as human beings don't want to have this connection, we just really aren't taught how to do it. So I'd sit down with people at a Paneras, and then before you knew it, after a couple of months of my business and it growing, I had 15 or 20 at my house. I remember clearly on a Sunday morning, we would have 15, 20, 25 people. The street would be lined with cars. People would be sitting on the couches, on the stools. As a matter of fact, the stool I'm sitting on is one that I had from back then. We'd set up all these stools and people were sitting on the floor and drinking their coffee, and I had my flip chart. And the reason I had my flip chart was over those years of being a real estate agent and learning to network and learning how bad I was at it, and learning that the more I know that I don't know, and the more I know I need to know. And even back then, I knew that. And so I was going to all these classes and I was learning about personality styles and about NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and how to pause in the right places so that people want to hear the next word you have to say. And so there was all these little, I don't want to say tricks, because they're not tricks. It's about learning human nature and learning how we all respond. So as I learned all that, now here I am in my living room with all these wonderful people. People that were brand new in business, had never owned a business before, all the way up to company owners who had multi-million-dollar companies, but this was a different business for them, and it was time to learn how to create communication on a different level. So I had 15 or 20 people in my living room and the flip charts and teaching that. And of course, then I moved into doing conference calls. And as I moved from New Hampshire to Massachusetts to New York City, Maine, all these different places, I once again would get to a place where I didn't know anybody personally, and it was time to recruit. It was time to communicate. It was time to continue business. And so I'd get to these new areas, and I would reach out to the different meetup groups and the different entrepreneur groups, which, by the way, we will talk about a little bit later on in the book. It's called Be the Event. Be the Event. When you want to create an audience, when you want to build your credibility, and when you want to create cash flow, be the event. Be the event. We'll talk about that more. So here I am going out and being the event. I'm creating antique car shows. I'm going to these meetups, and I am teaching other people's groups how to network. So I've been doing this a long time, and it dawned on me a few years ago that all of these hundreds of people, so here's what I'll ask. Are you 18? Are you between 18 and 80? Probably. Are you male or female? Probably. Are you a business owner or you'd like to be a business owner? Probably. Are you independently wealthy or well on your way? Are you educated or are you a high school dropout? See, what I found was it did not matter. It did not matter where people come from the back roads of Maine to Broadway in New York City and everywhere in between. Human beings are human beings, and the way that we communicate is the same. And the dreams that we have and the fears that we have are all the same. And so when I created the Mingle to Millions brand, I decided let's use that to our advantage. Not to take advantage, but to have the advantage. And that's really important. I say that a lot. Use it to your advantage, not to take advantage, but to have the advantage. Understand that the people around you are not as great at networking as you think they are. Sometimes we feel like when we walk into a venue, oh, well, everyone here has this down. Everyone else has got it but me. Everyone is having a great time except for me. Everyone else knows how to create conversation. Everyone else feels comfortable in their own skin here except for me. And the fact is that the majority of people really feel just like you and really feel just like I used to. See, I'm not extroverted. Some of my contemporaries that teach networking are extroverted. As a matter of fact, I was interviewed recently and the woman said, well, Cammie, since we are extroverted, and she continued on with her statement, and at the end of it, I said to her, I said, Emily, I said, I just want to back up for a second, just correct one thing. I'm not extroverted. I'm actually quite introverted. And so for me, as a coach, as a mentor, as a trainer, as an author in this genre, I think it's really important that the people that I'm sharing this information with know that I'm not extroverted. This is a skill. It's an ability that is acquired. It is something that you can turn on and turn off. It is not something that if you're not born with it, you have to worry, because you can learn how, you're not really learning it, you're remembering. You can be reminded of all of the things that you know innately as a human being and as an animal. You can learn or be reminded of how to bridge the humanity gap, how to make a great first impression, how to create those conversations so that the collaborations and the creations of the income and the influence and the impact, all of that, you can learn all of that. So as this book progresses, I'm going to go through 10 or more of the questions, the comments, the misconceptions that I see happen over and over and over in different situations. I'm also going to go over the 3 things towards the end of the book that you would want to know. If you knew what I know about networking, if you knew in the 15 years of experience and the thousands of events and the hundreds of case studies and the 1,000+ speaking engagements of talking with people about this subject, if you knew what I know, I'll go over the 3 things that we would be talking about, because we want to focus on quality versus quantity. We want to focus on upping our game. We want to focus on being the game and a lot of other fun stuff. So Congratulations for jumping in on this journey with me in Mingle to Millions. Mingle to Millions can mean millions of dollars for you. It can mean millions of people that see you in a movie. It can mean millions of people that are reading your book. It can mean millions of lives that are changed because you helped with something that you're really passionate about. So Mingle to Millions can mean millions in whatever genre that is for you. For me, Mingle to Millions means that millions of people will not only receive and read this book, but that they will actually start to implement the information and take it out into the marketplace. I'm a huge believer in the 30-second elevator pitch is dead, stopping selling and starting serving, and being able to come from a place of having the right intention about our networking, so that we pay attention at the networking event, so that we are creating the retention of the resources, relationships, and revenue that rock. And before we move on with the rest of the book, let me share a couple of things with you. First of all, networking is not a place you go or something that you put on your calendar. It's all the time, which is why I have also trademarked the word net play. So anytime I use the word network, it's just so that we understand what I'm talking about. However, let's replace the word network with the word net play. I don't know about you, but personally, I don't want to work. I want to play. I want to take the work out of networking and net play my way to success. I don't want to create a network and network with people. I want to net play. I want to be with people in my sandbox that want to play and have fun. See, this whole process of communicating and creating relationships and creating revenue, not only can it be fun, but I would submit to you that it should be fun. And if it's not fun, you won't create it nearly as fast. So stay tuned for the next video where we start talking about all the questions that I typically get, so that we can clear up some of the misconceptions and miscommunication and move powerfully into what I really want you to know, which are the 3 things that will really enhance, upgrade your net playing power.